Welcome to the Whole Bowl Co podcast with myself, Daisy, and Elle. We are longtime friends and business partners. This is your go-to source for women's health, experiences, and humour during trying to conceive, pregnancy, and postpartum. Join myself, a qualified nutritionist and mother of one, and Elle, a mum of two boys, as we share our personal motherhood journeys and insights. Tune in for expert interviews on topics that matter to you, including many candid conversations about motherhood. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram for updates. Let's navigate this beautiful journey together. The Whole Bowl Co acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and the connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today.
Okay, good morning, Rikki.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. How are you?
Parenthood and running a business.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It's been a really busy week, but it's been a great productive week. So, it's one day at a time.
One day at a time.
No sickness in the house. So, we're good here.
You're the same. No one's sick, super productive, super busy, but you kind of just get to the point that you've got to pump out what you can while you can, right? Like you can't be like, oh, it's so nice that it's busy, but everyone's out of the house and I might just get on top of it. Like, no, get the work done. You never know when that phone's going to ring.
That's exactly right. Exactly. I'm actually planning a bit of a self-care weekend. So I'm away without the kids, without the partner. And going away with one of my besties for a couple of days just to ground and decompress. I think we all need to do it when we can.
Yes, I'm a firm believer of that. Okay, yeah, we are. So Rikki, for those who don't know, Rikki was actually our first podcast guest. Rikki is a birth and postpartum doula and birth educator located in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. And we got along so well that we decided we wanted to collaborate further with Rikki and along with Rikki and Kathy of a business called Milk and Mums Co. We've created a birth and postpartum course.
Yes, we have.
And we've pulled that together in the last couple of months.
Yep.
We like to have ideas and then just smash it out.
Blood, sweat, tears, and a whole lot of passion.
Rikki and I, we've worked really closely together over the last month or so, and we've gotten to know each other very well.
Yeah.
We're so close to launching this course, and it's so incredible, isn't it?
It really is. And I think every time we're reviewing it, because we want this to be perfect, right? We want this to really land in people's homes and resonate and give them all of the best possible information and current information that they can possibly receive in preparing for their birth and preparing as best they can for their postpartum. But every time I read it and review it, I think, my gosh, I'm so proud of us. Mm-hmm. You know, what the four of us have achieved over the last couple of months to get this to the point that it's at. I'm incredibly proud, and I can't wait for people to actually see this and experience it and learn. And obviously my passion is education, and I really believe that if you have all of the information in front of you, you can make informed decisions. That's all I ever ask from my clients as well. And what we want for the people that are buying this is to feel fully informed so that they can sit down and make a decision on how they want their birth to look and, get some tools and plans in place for their birth and their postpartum.
And I think that's the really good thing about something like an online course is, so just to give everyone a bit of a picture image of what we've created. So we've got a Prepare for Birth course that is online. So it's video modules. I think it's about over 80 minutes at last count, but you keep recording more things. So it's a lot more. Over 80 minutes of video content on, like a range of modules, lessons and modules. And then there's an accompanying workbook that deep dives into those modules even further and, provides you with statistics and just like in-depth information. And then there's additional resources like your templates and your useful lists and great one-pagers to have on your fridge. And so that's the Prepare for Birth course. And then there's a Prepare for Your Postpartum course, which covers, right, the baby's here, now what? And that covers things like infant care, postpartum mental health, postpartum nutrition, a huge amount on breastfeeding, and a heap more that I'm probably forgetting. But that's also, over 60 minutes worth of video content, accompanying workbook that deep dives into each module, and then a heap of resources. And together, like, obviously the idea is that you'd want to get both because you want to be prepared for the birth, which everyone generally does in some form, but not many people are preparing for the afterbirth period. And that is when, the birth could take a day or two, maybe 3 days. But that afterbirth period, like, that is here for life. So to set you up for that postpartum period, to us, it's something that collectively, us as a group, we are really passionate about. That's why we're all in the businesses that we're in. So that course is just full of so much value, I think, and is something that's underdone in the market at the moment.
Absolutely. And I really think that, if you have the opportunity and you're in that space of wanting to learn, do it during your pregnancy, because it will open up conversation. And when you're in your postpartum, obviously, if you are in your postpartum, it's still absolutely geared for you as well, but to prepare as best you can in your pregnancy and get your village together and have all the tips and tools and all of the deep dives into the breastfeeding that Kathy contributes. Oh my goodness, she's a wealth of knowledge in the breastfeeding world. Having all that information and preparing for it can just make your postpartum that much smoother as well. We place so much emphasis on that big moment of your birth, but as you said, like your postpartum and being a parent, that's for life. So if you can start the foundation off on feeling on the front foot, it can make a really big difference to not only your own mental health and the relationship that you're forming with your baby, but it can also help you with healthier relationships with your partner, with your family, with your friends. It's such a great way to walk into your postpartum. And we never really can fully prepare for postpartum, right? But having the tools there and having the conversations are going to definitely give you a better opportunity and a more positive experience.
And the benefit of having something like this, where it's an online course and then you've got the workbook to take away, is, traditionally people that are attending birth education, it's kind of one weekend or one day jam-packed. You've got 5+ hours in a day of learning and you're back the next day and you're pretty shattered because you're usually entering your third trimester at that point. And it's a lot. It's information overload. Absolutely. And the bit about this is they're bite-sized modules, so you can tick it away with your partner when you've got time in the comfort of your own home, but you can come back to it, right? So those final weeks when you're really peak nesting, in that I need all the information I can get into me about what's about to happen to me mode, that's when you can revise some of the modules. You are truly prepared, and you can revise all of the postpartum information. And then once the baby arrives, and there's kind of that first week, and I don't want to say nothing's happening in that first week, because everything's happening in that first week, but there is that little bit of downtime where people are resting and you're comfortable and you can think, okay, well, the baby's here now, so let me rewatch what Kathy said about the breastfeeding stuff, because I'm right in the thick of it now. And what about that recovering from a C-section, if that's how it ended, or my vaginal birth? Like, what were those tips again? Let me revisit that. So I think the beauty of having this online course is you can even just open your phone and just be like, oh, let me quickly review that module, because I'm in that right now.
It's completely self-paced, and that's it. That's the beauty of it. It is self-paced. You can go at your leisure. You can sit on the lounge with your partner and watch it, or there might be some elements you want to watch on your own, but there's some key points that you'd like to invite your partner into. I always suggest, if you are going through this experience with a partner, to do it all together. But, sometimes you may want to just go at your pace and bring your partner and get them involved, or your birthing support at a different point, but it's all self-paced, which I think is amazing. And I think another thing to talk about is the fact that, because we are, as three businesses, all so passionate about mental health and preparedness and trying to educate and inform, we are limited by doing face-to-face. I love my face-to-face training with clients, but I'm limiting ourselves to just our area. This is reaching the homes of people anywhere. So, if you know someone that doesn't live in Sydney and they're about to embark on parenthood and they're pregnant, you can suggest to them, hey, there's an online course. It's all video modules. There's, resources attached to it, and they can do it in Perth. They could do it overseas. It's something that, speaks to a volume of people And we're not limiting, we really want to be able to reach people from their lounge room anywhere, which I think is beautiful.
It's so nice. And I think we covered it at length in some of our previous chats on the podcast, but it's that impact that I really cannot articulate this well enough, and you don't know until you know, and when you know, it's kind of too late. But it's that postpartum period, and we say that. So when we're talking about the postpartum period, I mean, if you're talking to your GP, they might be referring to that as 6 weeks. I personally refer to it as 7 years. I like to think that I'm still in that period.
And we all are to an extent.
There are a lot of things happening in my life.
Yeah.
But that postpartum period, it truly changes you as a woman. And, scientifically, it does rewire your brain during that period of transition to motherhood. And the things that happen throughout that period, as far as your feeding journey, your sleep deprivation, how you bond with your baby, how you and your partner communicate and kind of just get through that period together as a relationship. There are so many different factors of that period. And again, that period I'm talking about 6 weeks to 7 years, that the more you're prepared in that first few months and the more supported that you feel, the more that you know in your brain about solutions to tackle different situations, the better long term, like the better mother you're going to be in 5-10 years, the better woman you're going to be in 5-10 years, the better partner or partnership you're going to have in the future. Like everything that happens in those first couple of years, no one's prepared for, but they truly do impact the outcomes of years to follow, right? Like, in so many different ways. And it's just so hard to articulate, but I just see it time and time again with friends and family and myself. And it really does come down to those first few months of having a baby and how you feel and how you respond. And
this is why also I think the postpartum course is really beautiful. I had a meeting with a home birth midwife this morning. We were just talking about this, is like when you have other people involved and watching and educating, it can also help them to know how to help you. Because when we're in the thick of it as a mother and we are sleep deprived, we're just in survival mode. Sometimes we are genuinely in survival mode and we don't see the signs ourselves. So, the beauty of this is also like educating like a wider community. It's bringing in that support person or bringing in a family member, or sometimes we aren't, as mothers, are unable to really identify and communicate how we're thinking and feeling because it can be quite blurry. So having that partner involved, it will strengthen your relationship because you will feel supported in a way that you need to be supported. And I think that in itself also really helps with your journey into motherhood, because sometimes we don't know what we need, but if there's tools there that our partner can even see and go, okay, I'm seeing these signs, so this is what I've learned, and these are some things I'm going to try and to help my partner so that she can actually get some sleep, or that I can feel that she's being supported around the home. So it's also about lifting the people that are around us in our village to know how to help, because people do want to help, but they just don't know how. So I think that's also a really big key thing in that early postpartum stage is, helping your bubble to actually lift you as well and hold you.
Yeah, because you're so right. Everyone around you doesn't understand the situation, and they're the people closest to you, and they're the ones that you're going to be turning to for advice. And gosh, I wish that Andrew was more armed with what was information on what was happening, what I was going through, because I didn't know what I was going through, and he certainly didn't. He was kind of like, you should know this stuff, shouldn't you? And I'm like, well, I don't know anything. Do you know? Like, I didn't.
You're running blind when we start out. We're all learning.
And you're also too tired to communicate that. So you just like grunt and groan at them and become angry that they don't know what's happening.
Absolutely. And, we will still learn, it's all a learning curve. But like I said, I know I probably sound like a broken record, but having some tools, and normalizing some of the things that you're experiencing as well, going, oh my gosh, okay, maybe that's why I'm feeling like I am. My milk's coming in, it's day 3 to 5. This is why my breasts are engorged. Now I understand, or this is why I'm getting that cramping, because postpartum you still get period pain cramping for up to 6 weeks. Yes, I am still bleeding a little bit. They're things that many people may not know, But in there, it also normalizes it so that you can bring your anxiety down. The oxytocin is still flowing in your postpartum. It's a big part of your, your pregnancy journey, but your labor journey, but it also still continues. Your hormones are still contributing to your breastfeeding and the love hormones and connection with your baby. So all of that will help to bring your anxiety down and allow you to just rest, recover, and bond with your baby.
Yeah, and I love Ricky's got a bit in there that again I wish I read. Maybe. But I liked I forget I think you call it the 5-5-5 rule postpartum.
Yes, so 5 days in bed, 5 days on the bed, 5 days close to the bed.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah. And you know what? It also, like reading that and saying it out loud, it's giving you permission.
It's your permission, yes.
It's giving you permission to say, this is what I need, and this is for my recovery. This is to bond with my baby. This is to keep me in my cocoon.
Yes.
The world will see us soon.
Yeah.
But right now, this is about us learning and bonding and connecting.
I think that's so true. Like just giving people the permission and saying this is normal. And in many cultures, you're staying on the bed for a lot longer than that. This is normal. And for me, like I had a C-section the first time, but I thought I was a hero because I was walking up to the cafe to get a coffee with the baby and walking, walking here and walking there, and this visitor was coming, and I thought that was me being like, oh yeah, look how great I'm
bouncing back. It's the bounce back culture. We look at social media can actually be to our detriment, and I actually suggest to a lot of new parents to limit their phone time. I know you've got a lot of downtime when you're early postpartum and you're laying around, but pick up a book, listen to a podcast, and seek out beneficial information, because that comparison trap and that bounce back culture that we're living in is actually a detriment to our recovery. Bouncing back should not look like strapping your baby into a carrier and walking down to the cafe and having a coffee. It should be resting, connecting. Sure, if you want to get some fresh air and see the ocean, my goodness, yes, do it. But do things slow.
Like I remember I used to feel like, I really just feel like I could just stay here and cuddle the baby and chill out. But I felt not pushed, that's the wrong word, but I felt encouraged to get out and do things, see people. And I do remember instinctively thinking, I feel like I should just maybe just curl up and rest this afternoon. But I felt like a bit slobby saying that.
Yeah. And, that's the thing about the 5-5-5 as well. By slowing down, it actually gives your body the reset to start to be more in tune with what your body's asking you for and what your baby's asking you for. If you imagine you've got a revolving door of visitors and you're always out and about, how will you ever see and learn sleep cues, true hunger cues, and what your body really needs if you're always on the go? Because you can't learn that stuff when life is busy around you. The only time you're really going to sink into that is actually if you are
resting.
100%.
I know. I remember when with Ben, my first kid, and we had a lot of feeding dramas, and I remember my mum was just like, get into bed with him, shirt off, and just stay there. And that's that's where you need to be right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great advice, Mum. Great advice. And again, that's the other thing. Sometimes we don't always take the advice from family either. So as much as we're talking about it's great for support, I think that's another reason why bringing in someone like a doula can help, because you have hired someone that you feel is an expert in the area. And for some reason, some people will take that advice on with a bit more open reception than the mother-in-law or, the sister, because it's someone that you've brought into your space that you've actually, that's their specific expertise, and it feels like you can actually take it on a little bit better. So that's also options for people. But, I just think that having some information, particularly for your partner, this is, it is jam packed. I'm itching. I'm itching, Ellie. I can't wait to get this out.
I go into labour and birth it and then recover. We've talked quite a bit about the postpartum course. We'll keep this pretty quick, guys, because we just want to give you a snippet of what to expect and get our excitement out into the world about it. But just on the birth course, so the birth course, there is a lot there is a lot out in the world about birth education. Some of it is quite dated. Some of it is not very simplified. We feel like we've pulled together a really nice balance of up-to-date, relevant information delivered in an easy to ingest manner.
Yep.
With the supporting document and resources for those that like to deep dive further into kind of data. And so it's kind of, there's kind of enough there for everyone to get what they need. If you like diagrams, you can find a nice diagram about it. If you just want to watch beautiful Rikki chat about it, you can do that. Or if you like the reading and the stats, it's kind of, you can do it all, but then really hone into that area that you like to learn by. But the birth course, we cover that the final stages of your pregnancy and what to expect, and then kind of early signs of labor, hormones through labor, the stages of labor, different positions and natural
pain relief. There's natural pain relief. And then we discuss, I think one of the really important things about this course also is that it's not an opinion, it's just information. Whatever your choices are, these are just, the whole course is filled with information so that you can make a decision and feel fully informed. Pain relief, medicated or natural, inductions. We talk about the different types of inductions, risks, benefits, how to navigate the hospital system. We talk about home birth, we talk about public, we talk about private birth, having a birth in the private system, ways to manage labouring at home, how your partner can support you at home, and then how to transition to the hospital, how to protect your birth space when you're in that transit to hospital, how to protect your birth space once you're in the hospital, and then right through to what to expect in those first few hours post-birth. We talk about birth wishes, how to create a birth wish plan, because we don't like the word plan as such, and why. And then through to, that first week of post-birth as well. There's just, it's, as Ellie keeps saying, we keep adding more and more to it before we launch, because
it's not out yet, guys. Because every time we watch it again, we fall in love with it. We're like, oh, we should include this little, like 30 more seconds of information about this. And so there's a few too many perfectionists on this project, but it means that what's going to come out in the end is just going to be so wonderful and complete. And we're so proud of it already, and it's not even out into the world yet. Stay tuned. I guess on the bottom of these show notes, we will list the link that you can join the waitlist, so that once this does become available, you'll receive that notification in your inbox. I might just touch on the other value adds of people that get this course. Yeah. So you'll be welcomed into kind of a platform that you've got access to the courses and the resources to download. And from there, you'll also optionally be able to join like a virtual mothers group for the month that you're due. So if you want to try and find and connect with other mothers that are having births at a similar time, you can find your group there. And we'll have a heap of online resources. So you think recipes, think articles, relevant articles to this stage of life, birth and postpartum, pregnancy. We'll have a section that's kind of just full of discount codes for you. So all of the brands and services that we love, we're gathering together all of their discount codes and offerings to give, to hand over to you, so that you can have a look through there and work out if there's anything you want to get there. We're trying to add some value there. And finally, just all of the businesses and brands we love. Like it's the experts that we would recommend. So if you're in Sydney and you hear Rikki chatting about women's health physios and the benefits of seeing one post-birth, and you can say, well, who am I going to, like Google's, a minefield. At least you've got some recommendations of people that we know and we like and we trust. And so we'll have a list of businesses there that we recommend. So we do want to, it's not just to like buy the course and see you later. We are trying to support you through that period as much as we can through different value adds.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's something that really makes it stand out from other courses as well. We really want to embrace this journey with the people that purchase the course. It's not just take the course and off you go. we want that to, that continuity of support to continue for those families that, are investing in the course as well.
Yay, I love it.
So excited.
And if anyone has any questions before, if they're looking at the course when it comes live, if they have got questions, you just reach out to us. Like, we're all really friendly and available, and we're so happy to answer questions as they come up. And especially once it launches, because you're giving us the frequently asked questions that we can then put down for future people that look at it. So if you've got a question, it's probably going to come up more than once. So definitely ask us so we can make sure that information's in there for everyone else.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I feel like we've been talking to each other every other day at the moment.
All right. Thank you for coming on and chatting about this course.
Oh, such a pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.